Да, мы в эфире. Можно начинать.
Mhm. Hello, everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. I don't know where are you now, but I'm a Russian language teacher. My name is Guskova Ekaterina, and I represent State University, Petersburg University. And we organized for you with the publishing company Zlataust the set of the webinars about Russia to help you to understand this mysterious and interesting country. Today, um, so could you please, if you're in the Zoom, close your microphones? I would appreciate this. Yes, thank you so much. So today we're going to talk about the second topic, how to survive in Russia during Russian winter. This is one of the most popular questions that I hear from my foreign students once we start learning Russian. So many people in different countries of the world think that it's really, really cold in Russia. And that is everywhere. In Russia, you will find snow, and it is cold even in summer. There is a stereotype that Russia is the coldest country in the world. But what do you think? Is Russia the coldest one or not? Could you please write your suggestions in the chat if you are listening us in YouTube, if you are here in Zoom, please write what do you think? Is the Russia the coldest country in the world? Yes or no? I give you a few seconds. Okay, I see just one answer in Zoom right now. Okay. No, yes. Okay, Siberia, of course. So, okay, one more answer. Let me check. Okay, let's try to find the answer. So if you choose the answer yes, then you're right. If you choose the answer no, then you're also right. At the last webinar, during last webinar, we talked about the fact that Russia is a very, very big country. It's actually the largest country in the world. This means that there are different climate zones here you can find. In different places, the weather in summer and winter can be very, very different. So somewhere people can wear a light jacket in winter, and somewhere they leave they leave the house, they leave their home only if they need to go to work, and they prefer not to leave the house in other cases. So what kind of winter we can see, we can experience in Russia? Even in these photos on the screen, you might see different climate zones and different weather. On the left, you can see photos from the city Sochi. Sochi, probably you heard about the city. The Winter Olympic Games were held in 2014 there. And for example, in Sochi, the winter is quite soft, quite warm. Usually it's just +5, +7 degrees. Yes, doesn't look like a very, very bad winter. In Moscow and in St. Petersburg, it happens like worse. In Moscow, the weather can be -5, -10, usually -20 degrees. In St. Petersburg, even colder. You can experience -25 sometimes. In Volgograd, for example, the city next to, not far from Sochi, it's more on the south, you can see that it's -6 or -4 degrees, so not big deal, to be honest. So we think that's not very cold, -4, -6. The coldest city actually in Russia is Oymyakon, and this is located in Yakutia. You can see on the map, and this is the coldest place in the world. In winter, it can be -60 degrees. So -60 degrees, I don't know how people can live there, but they don't even live there, but they live and work despite the weather. So I'm going to change, the slide. So let's talk a little bit about the seasons. In almost all regions of Russia, there are different seasons. You can clearly identify them. So we have winter, autumn, spring, and summer. In the photo, you can see how they look like, and this is really how they look like, and how we actually Russian people imagine them. Winter, it's about snow and cold. Spring, it's about the flowers and about the sun shining and about green leaves appearing on the trees. In some cities, it's already very warm in spring. Summer, it's warm, even hot. Yes, even hot. So in Russia can be very hot, and the sun is shining around, and you can swim in the sea or in a river, or even you can go to sunbathe. Autumn, the trees have yellow leaves. It often rains, and the sun becomes little. So we divide calendar by months into 4 seasons. But in fact, usually winter begins in November. So you can see that winter months are December, January, and February, and autumn months are September, October, November. But in fact, honestly speaking, when does winter start in Russia? It's November. And winter ends usually in March. So, for example, there is still snow in Moscow and in St. Petersburg, even in April. So be ready for very long winter. It's not about the calendar winter. It's not only about 3 months. It's about even more. So if we say that winter begins in November, how we imagine the beginning of the winter? What does it mean? It means that first of all, it starts snowing. We can see the first snow there. And there is a fall in the temperature. For example, in October, the air of the temperature is about just plus 10 degrees or even plus 5 degrees, and it rains. In early November, the temperature can drop to minus 3 degrees. So we take winter clothes out from our wardrobes, and we have special shoes, and that means that the winter began. In Russia, there are words frost and cold. And frost is a temperature below 0 when water freezes and turns into ice. And cold is any temperature when people feel that they are cold. Therefore, we say that in November, the first frost or the first frosts, морозы. Winter begins in November in many regions and many places in Russia. And what does cold mean? So what do people think? When we say when we feel cold? So the authors of this course that right now I'm giving live in the different cities of Russia. We live in St. Petersburg and in Moscow. Some used to live in Krasnoyarsk, Syktyvkar, Yelabuga. This is the city in Tatarstan. So in Moscow, in St. Petersburg, we think that if it is minus 5 degrees in winter, then it's not very cold. So minus 5, not very cold. But if it is minus 10 or minus 20 outside, then it's very cold for us. And minus 20 and below is a very severe frost. So minus 25, oh my God, minus 13 sometimes. Don't want to think about this now, but it's really, really cold. It's a frost. Residents of Siberia, Krasnoyarsk, so for them, they really think that minus 30 is a severe frost, while minus 20 is just a cold. So, how we can imagine low temperatures? For example, in the freezer, in refrigerator, you can the temperature is about -18. And on the top of the mountain Kilimanjaro in Tanzania, the temperature can be up to -25. So imagine you are on the top of Kilimanjaro and this is Russian winter. So how we live, how do we live during winter? Why do we not freeze and why do we not feeling uncomfortable? Why we still feel very comfortable at home? Well, we need to say that every house in Russia has heating. If it is a city, especially a big city, the heating is a central. This means that it's not turned on by people themselves, that we don't control the heating system. So there are special stations in every district, and so the heating is turned on and off according to their decisions. And on the photo, you can see that the cat is sleeping on the battery because it's really, really good heating system. We usually just say the word battery, not heating system, just a battery. This is a metal construction made of pipes with hot water inside them. Even when it is -10 degrees outside, it's about +20 in our houses. My students told me that they were surprised that during winter they were forced to open the windows in their dormitory room because it was too hot inside. And heating is not very expensive. According to statistics, an average pavement for heating is about 1,500 or 2,000 rubles per month for heating. It's about 2-3 room apartments in Russia. And heating is turned on in late September or early October when it gets colder outside. For example, right now, battery is working already. The heating works until about the beginning of the May. So winter is a very, very difficult time for human body. In winter, it is cold and there is little sun. What do we eat in winter to feel good? Here you can see on the slide that in winter, we try to eat a lot of hot soup, hot meat, and hot tea. Russian soup is usually prepared from vegetables and meat. It's very, very, it has a lot of calories. It has a lot of ingredients. And we usually eat it during the day, but some people like to eat it even in the evening or for the dinner. In winter, it is generally important to eat meat as it contains a lot of fats and protein, which helps us not to freeze. Tea is a very popular drink in Russia. In winter, we drink it especially often. And so we drink it very hot, and usually we drink chai with something sweet, not just tea. So if you meet with your friends in the cafe, you can order some teapot, but something always you will eat some sweets, some croissants, something like this, always. So these are very important dishes. What else can keep us healthy, keep fit in winter? Of course, these are vitamins. For example, vitamin D is fish, milk, and eggs. There is even a special medicine, fish oil, omega-3, and it's usually adults and children take this vitamin, take omega-3. Even I was taking it for a while. Doctors say that you need to take fish oil in autumn, winter, and spring because it's really important for your health. Also in winter, we eat a lot of citrus fruits like oranges and lemons. They do not grow in Russia, of course, but they are imported from other countries, for example, from Africa, South Africa, and Morocco. We believe that citrus fruits are very, very tasty, but we are also very pleased with their bright orange color in winter. what we need to wear during winter. So, and what to wear on the street to be warm, to feel warm and comfortable. In winter, it is really necessary to wear a hat and a scarf, gloves on your hands, shoes supposed to be warm, and you wear boots on your legs. Women still like to wear boots in winter. We have long boots even. So you see a girl and a guy in warm jackets. These jackets are called a down jacket. You will also need a wool sweater or a wool jacket. So winter clothes usually made from the wool. We call it sherst. So in the photo, we show people in the light colored clothes, so you can clearly see what these people are wearing. But in general, we often buy jackets in dark colors because winter clothes are difficult to wash. That's why in winter, it's a little bit gloomy, everyone wearing dark clothes, but a lot of white snow. There is a large selection of down jackets. We call it puhavik in stores now, and you can always find something that fits your size, your color, and of course your price. So how to choose clothes for the winter? On the left, you can see a family that is dressed in thermal underwear. It can be made of different materials, wool or synthetic materials for different weather. Thermal underwear can be worn under trousers, jeans, or a shirt. It will be hot at home, but if you need to go outside, then even in frost, you will not be cold, thanks to this underwear. When you choose shoes, we advise you to take high boots with a raised sole. Even if there is ice on the road, it will be convenient for you to walk. When you choose a jacket, remember that it should protect you from wind, water, snow, and cold. It's good if the jacket has a hood. In winter, we put it on the top of the hat. We advise you to choose a longer jacket, not the short one. Then there is a question, how many clothes we should put on during winter? Let's see. So usually this question is always asked by our students, foreign students. It seems that if you put on a thick sweater and a thick jacket in the cold, it will be really warm and good. Or if you wear a lot of clothes, it will also be warm and good. We call it system of the cabbage when you have a lot of clothes. Instead one very, very warm one, you just put a lot of clothes on you. Usually we wear 2 layers of clothes, a shirt or a long sleeve t-shirt and a sweater. Under the trousers are thermal underwear or tights worn by women. So usually if you experience Russian winter, you must wear some tights under your jeans or any other trousers. It's usually cold outside, but warm indoors. So it's very important to dress that you will not feel like hot when you will go down on the street and when you come into the room. Therefore, we often wear a woolen jacket, which can be easily removed indoors. In general, 2 or 3 layers of clothing, so t-shirt, short, sweater, are much more comfortable and practical than one thick sweater. So the rules for choosing a wardrobe for winter. You should not be hot indoors, inside the building, and when you walk quickly down the street. Hot doesn't mean good. The main principle is several layers of clothing. when you enter a room and going to spend some time there, for example, at university, you need to take off your jacket and the hat inside. This is very important. So wearing a hat and jacket outside, but once you're inside, please take it off. If you're not taking it off, it is regarded as not very polite. Sometimes I saw my students in the classroom wearing the hat, and this is really, really looking not appropriate for Russia. So this is actually, according to the rules of etiquette, men should always take off their hats. This is also very important. Temperature changes are very dangerous to the health. So it's really important to remember that like not be hot inside the place. So now let's talk about how Russia looks like in winter. Just a second, I will find the slide for this. So let's continue and let's say a few words about how Russia looked like in winter. So there is actually the stereotype that once you are in Russia in winter, there is a lot of snow everywhere and people can't walk on the streets and cars can't drive. But this is not the case. Sometimes there is really a lot of snow, but the snow is removed every time by special machines and people. Therefore, we can take public transport or a private car. We also like to walk. In general, snow, it's not a very big deal for Russian people and not a big deal for the city. It's actually expensive for the city, right? But that's why there is so much talk about snow removal in the news on television. What do Russian people do during the winter? Despite the frost, people have a lot of things to do. People can have a really good time in Russian winter. Sometimes we just go for a walk. We walk through the streets of the city or in the parks. People who love sport do skiing or skating. You can try it too, by the way. It's not very hard. Ski and skating can be rented, so you don't need to buy them. This service is available in all parks during winter, and children really like to ride down the hill. When you move a lot, you are not cold, remember. What else we should say about winter clothes? So how do we, going back to the clothes, how we choose and where do we buy winter clothes? So according to, we go like to buy winter clothes, we go, of course, to the shopping malls. We even look through the internet, maybe to buy it online. And as for statistics, puffer jackets can cost from around 5,900 rubles. And in general, Russian people spend about 4,000 rubles for outerwear and about 5,000 rubles for winter boots. And usually it's a very, very important question to buy a very good one because you're going to wear it all winter. So this is not supposed to be the question of economy. So we are ready to spend money to have a very good one jacket and very good one boots. So let's go back to, yes, here is the special table for the size. We have a special, like we have European system of clothing and boots, and we have also Russian system. You can see it in the tables. Also, you can find it in the internet. So please be careful once you travel to Russia and you're going to buy some shoes. If you will, or like clothes, if you're going to buy it online, first check like these tables. So, for example, if you look at the table, if it is in Europe, the boot will be 35 size. In Russia, it would be 34, and in the United States, it would be 5. So please be careful. And finally, if you ask why Russian people love winter, many of Russian people say that this is because of our favorite holiday. Maybe you heard about it. We celebrate New Year during winter, and New Year regarded as the main holiday in Russia. We celebrate it during the night from the 31st of December for the 1st of January. And already in autumn, people begin to prepare. So they buy gifts for their friends, for their family. They plan a holiday, they plan a dinner, what they're going to cook for dinner, where they're going to spend the New Year's Eve. And in January, we have, thanks to New Year, we have more than a week off, usually from 1st of January until the 9th of January. Almost no one works at this time, and children have holidays at this time in the schools, and students have holidays in February. So we can say that the main events of the year is the New Year and preparation for this holiday. As you know, winter in Russia is a very interesting time of the year, so just for which you need to be prepared. Thank you so much for your attention. Hope now you're not so much scared by Russian winter, and you understand that this is a really, really good time to visit Russia, to experience this winter. And of course, yes, you need to first think about the clothes. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And we have questions in our chat.
Okay.
Several questions.
Let's check. So, let me open the...
Could you please
I can see it.
read them? Could you please read them for our YouTube listeners?
Okay, sure. Sure, I can do it. Okay. What about religious hats? I'm not sure about what religious hats we are talking, but we don't have any special religious hats. I think, okay. Indoor religious hats are possible, of course. Not okay. Winter, just... Okay, I see. So how much does Russian government support innovation? Okay. Technical innovation, of course, is highly supported, like we can even, we will actually talk about this soon, but even you can pay by your face once you go to the metro. Yes, Russian Christmas, it's we have Orthodox Christmas, it's not European Christmas, not Catholic one. So we celebrate Christmas on the 7th of January, just after the New Year. So the fun would be for the New Year night, and serious religious family holiday would be for the 7th of January. Muslims hats. Okay. Well, honestly speaking, I never pay attention on this. I guess because all I saw that everyone just wearing normal hats, and when they go inside, they need to even the men with the Muslim hats, they need to take it off. Because we are regarded as a secular city, and yes, we need to have etiquette inside university, work, and so on. Yeah, but probably it would be not kind of very bad if you wear Muslim hats inside. It's okay. But we're talking about big hats, big winter hats. Of course, it's not okay if you wear them inside. Well, Sochi, as you can see, Sochi is not, for me, it's kind of a very good weather. It's not a winter. So it's warm, it's sunny, there is no snow, so this is a perfect winter. So I'm not thinking it's kind of real snow. Well, I think the weather there is the weather in Crimea is the same as in Sochi because they're located very close to the Black Sea. So climate is almost the same, and they're not experiencing very cold winter. Very soft, nice, like nearby sea winter. So if you want to have a real Russian winter, go to St. Petersburg. What's your take to get rid of seasonal depression? Very good question. If I knew the answer for this question, I would be very happy. Usually, like, of course, it's seasonal depression because winter is really long. Of course, we take vitamin D. Vitamin D raises our mood. Very good. So also not to focus on the bad things. Try to meet your friends. Try to do a lot of physical activities. Also skiing, skating is also for the same reason. Once you do a lot of sport, you have a lot of good energy and no bad mood. Okay, so thank you so much for your questions. See you next time on our webinar. Have a nice evening or day, whenever you are. Goodbye.
Спасибо большое.
Спасибо вам. До свидания.
До свидания.
До свидания.